Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Razak at CMTrading. Today is July 26, 2017, and today is Wednesday morning. So looking at the economic events of the day, we've got a few things coming up, starting out with the GBP at 10:30 South African time. That's going to be a gross domestic product. That's a quarterly number that's coming out. Not a crazy number, but important to know that it is coming out. And then, of course, we've got oil number coming out at 4:30 South African time. That is an important number. That's a weekly number. And then at 8 p.m. South African time, we have a FOMC statement. Now, this is an important event this evening, and altogether, okay, I don't think there's not going to be that many surprises, but the market is looking for some sort of confirmation. As you've noticed the past week, things have been very quiet and things have settled off. So let's look at what's been happening in the markets, and we're going to start out with the EURUSD. Well, it's been kind of quiet, okay? It hasn't really come in a lot, okay? I would have expected, maybe for it to retrace to 1.51-ish level, 1.54-ish level, but it hasn't done that. It's staying stable above 16, which is a very bullish sign. I still think that we could hit this 120 before the end of the year. And as you can see, it really isn't coming in. Whereas if we look at the GBP USD and we just compare it for a second, you see the GBP USD did come in a little bit more aggressively versus the dollar. So the euro is my go-to for the upside. Okay, so if I'm looking to buy something, I'm probably going to hit to the euro USD after a pullback and then jump in it more aggressively. I would have liked this thing to have retraced maybe to 114, but it's not doing it. Okay, it's really not doing it, and it's showing some strength. Now, I don't feel so comfortable in chasing this up, but ultimately speaking, it's still relatively strong. Looking at the Aussie USD as well, it's retracing a little bit, but again, not that much relative to how far it's come. So, I still hold these are the two very strong symbols versus the US dollar. Okay, looking at gold right now, we are retracing a little bit, 1246, down 10 points from the beginning of the week of 1256. So just a little bit of a retracement. But like I said, we're going to be within these levels. So we're hitting a little bit of a support level right here, 1246. So just keep that in mind. If we do break this 1241, I definitely think we could come back to 1220 again. Markets are still strong. Looking at oil. Now, oil had a nice pop yesterday to 48.38. It's been relatively strong over the past week, and as you can see, it's going on further. It looks like it's going to start a upwards trend. My guess is it's going to be around the $50 range. I wouldn't be surprised if it closes that gap. This is a time in the year where we're consuming a lot of oil. People are traveling. There's a lot of, back and forth. So, ultimately, it's a very busy time of the year for oil consumption. So I believe we could still be between $45 to $50 a barrel. Looking at the JSC, very, very, very strong. Okay, we hit this bar up yesterday, trading at 48,419, up 200 points since yesterday. And as you can see, we're really at the top of this trading range. Okay, I would like to see this, maybe break it out a little bit more aggressively before I'm thinking on the long. Okay, at the end of the day, we've hit this resistance several times. I still think that you can short a little bit here in anticipation that it's going to correct itself. Okay, so this is something that you got to keep an eye on. Looking at the ZAR has gotten a little weaker versus the dollar, as you can see here, trading at 13.07. So not a big move, but in light of the JSC getting a little bit stronger, the rand is getting weaker, so we like to see that. So it might be a good place to actually short the dollar versus the rand here in anticipation that this will correct itself a little bit back to the 1270 level. Looking at the Dow Jones, it's been a wacky, we're at all-time highs, so it's been kind of wacky. We went down to 21,400-ish level and we rallied right back. So this is becoming a little bit of a support level right here at 21,470. Okay, as you can see here, we had a previous resistance. We held this line on the candle and on the wick several times. So, we're almost at the top of the range. All-time highs is 21,620. Relative to the information that's going to come out, I don't think that there's going to be anything that's going to be surprising, but I do think that it's going to solidify some of our notions as to the strength of the economy internationally. So that's something you got to keep an eye on. Looking at the DAX, got a little bit stronger as well. Bounced finally from its shorter debacle. It's not trading as aggressively as the Dow is. Okay, it's been getting a little bit weaker. Now, people have asked me, I've mentioned this yesterday, is the DAX going to affect the U.S. markets and going to bring it down? And as you can see here, it's not doing that. Okay, it's holding. The U.S. markets are holding their line. They're not going further down. The DAX is getting further down, but not substantially. So keep an eye on this as this develops as well. This is Razak at CMTrading. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.